Here's my review of X-Men 97 episode 9. This episode was intense and crazy, and also of course fantastic because this whole show has been great. And it's this episode in particular, it really just makes you feel so much emotion because you're these characters all feel so complex and you agree with both of these completely different sides because you understand both of them. And we see how Scott is of course kind of getting on to Charles saying how what did you expect that would happen, the fact that you left Magneto in charge and you put him in your will, and how Magneto's explaining that he truly believed, that he truly trusted his friend. And it just kind of shows, it's in a way just kind of sad because Charles is of course a very smart character and a very great character, but it just shows this naiveness. But in a way, it almost felt like he was right from what we were seeing until the very end. And it's just kind of just shows you just this complexity of all these characters. And it's just beautiful, I think. And it kind of we're how we're seeing how they basically needed to have this plan to track Magneto as well as Bastion. Who I will say, I feel like I still feel like I'm kind of, maybe it's just me, but it's like the thing is with Bastion and Mr. Sinister's goal. I think I still maybe I'm just kind of stupid and I don't really understand what their main goal is. I think what they want to do is kind of create this almost superior alpha race. And just feel free to correct me if I'm wrong and explain, because I'm just stupid, but I feel like I am kind of a little confused on what their general goal is. I think I'm right, but I will say I wish we got to. I wish there's show had more episodes because we can get more time to develop them. Although it's just hey, this show is still fantastic. And I will say, Mr. Sinister has such a cool design. And I will say, I just wish we got to see more of him. He is the main villain of here. And I will say, I still love him. He's still really cool. I kind of just wish we just had more episodes so we could see more of him. But hey, I'll take it because, he's still greatly written here. I just like spending time with, both of our villains. And it just kind of makes you, I wouldn't really say he's he has that, they have that threat. I wouldn't say he feels as threatening for, ironically, a character named Mr. Sinister in comparison to Bastion, but he's still very good. Because he's more feels like he's almost Mr. Bastion, Bastion's henchman. But he's still very great. I still really like him. And I feel like the biggest part of this episode, of course, is when Magneto basically goes against Charles. He's, you know what, finally, I'm completely done. Who wants to join me in, join my, basically, rule against the human race? Because we have been oppressed for so long. Sunspot and Rogue both join him. And I think that it's very interesting. It's very emotional because, especially with a character like Rogue, you understand especially why she would go with Magneto because of this romance. And even especially you understand Sunspot as well. His own parents didn't even accept him. It makes sense why he'd want to be with Magneto. And it's just it's a really sad moment because these are characters especially for me Rogue was one of my, I still really like her as a character, but Rogue is I really just enjoyed her this entire season and just seeing her go this way. I'm glad it happened, it just proves how well of a written character she is because it's because I do care about her. It does make me sad that she goes to the other side because I care. And that's what this whole show has done so well. And now I'm about to get into the very shocking parts of this episode, the very big reveals. So if you want to just not know this, I'd recommend scrolling and getting off right now because I'm about to get into the biggest reveals. First of all, when we see, towards the end, when all of them are going against Magneto and Wolverine just stabs him in the back of the chest, and I thought that he killed him, but then we get an even bigger reveal and even crazier scene. And yeah, it's the iconic scene ripped straight from the comics where Magneto rips Wolverine's adamantium skeleton out of his body and kills him. And it is crazy. I'm surprised how gory it is for what is this animated show. But it was insane. And this was the last scene of the episode. It just makes you think how powerful Magneto is, but also just in a way, I almost he should not have done that. But it's Magneto's such an interesting character. I don't hate him. I'm not. No, I don't want this to happen. But I'm still not necessarily rooting for him, but I still understand him, you know? It's just such a well written character. So yeah, this was another fantastic episode, just such a fantastic show. And I pray that this next episode is great, which I think it will be. I genuinely think it's going to be great because every single episode of the show has been great, and I think that this is one of the best shows of the year. But I'm going into this and even if this next episode is bad, I still think this is just a great show because every single episode has been good and all these characters are just so complex and interesting, and it's just a show where it's like I just want to keep watching. I want to know every single, and like that's the thing that it's like we're only 9 episodes in. It's like I say I want to know about every character. I feel like I already do know so much in only these 9 episodes, but it's like I want to keep spending time with them. And yeah, this show is just great. This episode is great, and it's just so shocking. And I just think that it's handled its obvious, very on the nose metaphor very well. But yeah, that's really nothing else to say. I thought this was another fantastic episode.